Well, it's a lovely fall day here at Plymouth State University, the annual tradition of seeing mysterious pumpkins on top of Browns Hall with peak foliage in the background. No robots this year due to COVID-19, but that hasn't stopped New Hampshire's finest teams from competing in the 2020 Governor's Cup. And to start off this year, let's welcome New Hampshire's 82nd governor. His father was 75th governor. Please give your virtual applause to Governor Chris Sununu.
Live from the beautiful campus of Plymouth State University in Plymouth, New Hampshire, it's the first Robotics Governor's Cup. Hi, I'm Governor Chris Sununu. I am thrilled to be with you all today in support of FIRST, one of New Hampshire's most successful educational enrichment programs. The launch of the Governor's Cup back in 2017, it's an accomplishment that I am very, very proud of. It's truly a transformative initiative that allows students from all backgrounds to create, join, and participate in a robotics team that sets you all on a path of success in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. Opening those doors of opportunity and preparing our students to enter the 21st century economy has long been a priority of mine. FIRST has made leaps and bounds in just the past few years with our recent announcement that the program is now available to all New Hampshire schools. It's also why I'm so pleased we're able to offer a tuition waiver for one semester at any college or university in the state's college or community college system again this year as the highest prize of the competition. New Hampshire's STEM sector is thriving, and the Granite State has become an economic powerhouse for advanced manufacturing and technology. Companies are looking to all of you right here in New Hampshire as those next generation of innovators. I want to take a moment and congratulate you all on your continued commitment to your education. We know that the past few months they've been very challenging. And whether you're learning remotely or on a hybrid model or in person, there's an entire community standing behind you. Our future lies in your hands, and I could not be more excited to see where you lead us. With that, let the games begin, and best of luck in the competition.
Good morning, everyone. My name is David Price, and I'll be your host.
And I'm Cambria Hobbs, and I will also be your host.
We want to welcome to this exciting Saturday up here in Plymouth, New Hampshire. This is the 2020 Governor's Cup. You know, we're in an election season, and a lot of people are looking at the politicians and their backgrounds. Chris Sununu, our 82nd governor of New Hampshire, is a very unique person for this state, and he is so fitted for this event. Few of you know that he actually went to MIT. We have a governor here that has a background that just embraces technology. So imagine that we live in New Hampshire with him and Dean Kamen, another techno geek, and the two of them met back in 2016 to talk about this idea of having a Governor's Cup. And we're not suited at any other place better than this in beautiful Plymouth, New Hampshire with the foliage. And we'll talk in a few minutes about why this university is such a great place to be. You've heard Dean Kamen at events in the past say that phrase that FIRST Robotics is the sport of the mind. You've also heard him say that famous quote that everyone in FIRST gets the chance to go pro. Well, guess what? This event, this exact event, has high school students going pro because this is a competition for money. The students that win this team today, the seniors that win this team today, will get a full one semester tuition paid for by the governor's office to any state school. So a community college or a state college or university. And that is an amazing thing. So what brings us here for the third year in a row is this incredible location at Plymouth State. And you're a student here, Cambria. You know something about this.
I am indeed. I am a sophomore here at Plymouth State University. I just recently transferred here, actually. I was originally a student at University of New England, but honestly, I missed my first family and I missed New Hampshire so much that I decided to transfer, and it was such a great decision because the atmosphere just in this at this university, everyone's so welcoming, everyone's so open and honest and sweet, and we have amazing people here like our president, Dr. Donald Burke, who has quite the background in STEM as well. He has a bachelor's and master's in physics. He has a MBA in finance and a doctorate in electrical engineering. He is the 15th president of Plymouth State University. Let's welcome Dr. Donald Burks.
Don?
Hi, I'm Don Burks, president of Plymouth State University. I'm thrilled to welcome you to this year's virtual Governor's Cup. I'm coming to you from PSU's new makerspace, home of our robotics program laboratory and also all sorts of programs across the university. Our robotics program has taken its place among other technology offerings, including majors in computer science and information technology, and computational and applied mathematical sciences. There's everything here to build every kind of robot and take you wherever your imagination leads you. Plymouth State is privileged to be an event sponsor for this, the third consecutive year, and we welcome each one of you. We thank Governor Chris Sununu and First New Hampshire who have joined us to make the Governor's Cup possible. And as a university, we value First Robotics' mission and are excited to be a part of it. On behalf of Plymouth State University, I wish you the best no matter where your plans take you. On behalf of us, may the force be with you and your robots.
Thanks, Don. Cambria, we have a busy day.
Yes, we do. And even though you aren't here with us in person and we can't see all of your smiling faces, which we wish we could, doesn't mean you aren't going to have a busy day. We have a jam-packed schedule for you. We have workshops, we have guest speakers. You'll still be presenting and talking to judges just like you would be at competition. And of course, we have awards and scholarships, which we're all looking forward to.
True. And of course, none of this can happen without the sponsors. And we're so, again, uniquely fitted in this granite state to have some incredible sponsors that have really gotten behind First and supported First. We have one of the strongest budgets of any state in the country. And of course, we can't do that without our sponsors like BAE Systems down in southern New Hampshire that have embraced multiple teams for decades now. Of course, I think about Fidelity Investments, has their world headquarters here in Nashua. But of course, those companies, they're powered by Eversource. And Eversource is unique to have a president, Joe Purrington. And Joe Purrington actually has his bachelor's degree from Southern New Hampshire University. He came to Eversource, New Hampshire in 2014. And now we have him here with us today, but virtually because of COVID. So let's listen to him right now. Joe?
On behalf of everyone at Eversource, I want to congratulate each of the teams competing in this year's First Robotics Governor's Cup. And thank you all for your hard work this season. Each of you has overcome significant hurdles to arrive here today, not only as you worked to complete this year's challenge, but also personally as the COVID-19 pandemic has changed every aspect of our daily lives. That's really the essence of what First is all about, developing the skills that will empower you to rise to the challenges facing our state, our country, and our world. You all have the skills and talent to make our world a better place for future generations. At Eversource, we're also working every day for a better tomorrow, helping to lead the clean energy transformation in New England and ensuring that our neighbors and businesses have the power they depend on, especially now as many of you and your parents continue to learn and work remotely. We're also committed to being a leader in workforce development in New Hampshire because we know a strong workforce is critical to our state's future success. Keeping skilled, creative, and passionate young people like each of you here in New Hampshire is paramount to moving our state forward. Each of you represents diversity of experiences and thought that enrich our communities and make them stronger by presenting new solutions to overcome challenges. We can't wait to see this demonstrated in the creative and brilliant solutions you have developed for this year's competition. Congratulations to all this year's First Robotics Governor's Cup teams. Your future is bright.
Well, thank you so much. Cambria, so everybody gets into First some way. Your experience is unique, so talk about that for just a minute.
Well, in all honesty, when I got involved with First and when I first heard about it, I actually got hit in the head with a Frisbee thrown by a robot. I was at a New Hampshire 4-H awards night in Milford, New Hampshire, and I was presenting, and all of a sudden I'm spinning and I feel a Frisbee hit the back of my head, and I turn around and I see a bunch of robotics kids and mentors laughing and giggling as they're playing with their robot. I walked over to see what the heck was going on, and then a couple of weeks later I got in touch with them, and I got involved, and honestly I've been stuck with it ever since. I absolutely love it. I was a student for 5 years, 1 year doing FLL, and then 4 years all throughout high school doing FRC, and this is now my second year mentoring, and it's just been great. What about you, Dave? How did you get into it?
I think I was also hit on the head. So I have a background in aviation. Never thought I would be involved in anything technical like this, except for just following checklists and flying planes. But I fell in love with teaching around the time I was getting my commercial pilot licenses and flying corporate. And I started as a new high school teacher in Nashua, New Hampshire, and they have a team there called Team 151. And I was the brand new, unseasoned, least seniority rookie teacher. And the department head called me into his office and he said, "David, you're going to be mentoring the kids on the first robotics team." And I said, what the heck is first? So sorry about my language. So I said this, and I went to the very first meeting over at BAE Systems at the time, and they had a different name. And I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the engineers. I watched how the engineers were so funny and caring with the students. And it took me about a week. And I came home and I told my wife, I said, "I'm on this robot thing, and it's really pretty cool." So I did that for a couple of years. Then my children were born, and it was hard to have little kids and be out every single night, because you know how hard it is to build a robot.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't build it. I'm not smart enough, but what I could do was watch the students. But it was late hours. So I actually went into the principal's office in tears as a grown man before school, saying, "I can't be on the team anymore. I just have to give this up for a little bit." And then somebody over at BAE Systems said, "Hey, David, we have a Lego competition. Do you want to be the MC?" Right. So I emceed the Lego competition. Dean came and was there in the gymnasium and saw. And then a few days later it was, "Hey, David, do you want to be the game announcer at the Verizon Center?" So I game announced, and then the MC of that event the next year left, and then the head of the MCs, this guy named Blair, who's still with us, he's really fantastic. Blair said, "David, I'd like you to be the MC of Verizon Center." I was like, holy cow, that's the coolest thing in the world. So BAE actually said to me, they said, "David, everybody has a job to do. So if you can't build a robot, maybe you could say a team number with enthusiasm." So that was it. And I cannot believe that's 18 years of emceeing, but I'm a little over 20 years now. In fact, I guess this is my 22nd year volunteering for FIRST. And my wife started tolerating it, and now she just knows that this is in my DNA, and I'm never going to give this up. Someday maybe I'll step back, because I want people like you with your enthusiasm to MC. But for the most part, I think that I'm always just going to stay with FIRST. It's too much fun.
It's way too much fun. I absolutely adore it.
It really is. So with that, I think we have, what's our next segment? We have another introduction to do. We bring other people into FIRST, and I think we just have new leadership now, right?
We do. And honestly, I'm really excited to introduce him today, because in all honesty, on top of having extensive experience in STEM business world, he's also really involved just as a mentor. He's a mentor at Columbia University for the master's program in for technology management. He's dedicated to scaling FIRST programs and making hands-on experiences available for students just all across the world. He's just absolutely wonderful. We'd like to welcome the president of FIRST, Larry Cohen.
Larry?
Thank you. I'm so excited to join all of you today at the 2020 Governor's Cup. As someone who recently moved to New Hampshire, it is so inspiring to see the outstanding support from our government, our university partners, our corporate partners, and the entire FIRST community here in New Hampshire. FIRST programs foster skills that are essential to go from FIRST to the workforce, including a range of technical skills, as well as self-confidence, teamwork, critical thinking, leadership, creative problem solving, perseverance, and project management. And developing these skills will open pathways to a wide spectrum of diverse career choices. Embracing a genuine love of learning and passion for innovation will be critical for you to thrive in this ever-changing workforce. Many of you will work in jobs that don't even exist today, and your experience in FIRST will help prepare you for the opportunities and challenges of the future. My advice is to seek out experiences that can bridge the gap from learning concepts to the real-world application of skills. Say yes to new opportunities, courses, extracurricular activities, internships that are outside your comfort zone. You never know which experiences will have an enormous impact on your life. 10 years ago, someone invited me to a FIRST event, and the thrilling competition and impressive students inspired me to get involved with local teams. Now I've pivoted my career to lead this incredible organization, and I live here in the Granite State, all because I said yes to that initial opportunity. Use your unique perspective to your advantage. We need young people of all backgrounds and capabilities in the professional pipeline to build a diverse workforce and to create an inclusive and innovative culture. At First, we believe that equity, diversity, and inclusion are critically important. We focus on initiatives that build and nurture an inclusive community and that remove barriers to entry to ensure greater, more equitable access to FIRST programs. Our mission is to inspire all of you to become science and technology leaders and innovators and provide you with the skills that will prepare you for a diverse array of career opportunities. And now I'm happy to introduce Frank Merrick, our director of the FIRST Robotics Competition.
Thanks, Larry, and hello, FIRST Robotics Competition teams. I am so excited to see that you are finding ways to stay engaged with your team and with us, like through the Governor's Cup today. For the upcoming season, we've got several more ways for your team to be engaged that include some fun challenges, and I hope you're all going to be joining us. And if you know anything about FIRST, you know about our ethos of gracious professionalism. It's more important than ever for us to rally around our culture of cooperation and gracious professionalism as we navigate these really uncertain times. Please continue to practice these habits today and every day. Good luck today. I can't wait for us to be together again in person. And now, back to Dave Price.
Greetings to the whole FIRST community. The kids, the parents, the teachers, the mentors, the sponsors, the governor, and that the whole crowd that's involved in FIRST in general and in the Governor's Cup in particular. Sadly, as many of you have now become accustomed to, we're not all in one place, but I hope we're all of one mind. I think what's happened this year in some ways is frustrating and disappointing, but in others it should be a great reminder of how important it's going to be, ever more important, that we collectively get better and better at developing technologies that can solve real problems, like COVID. Until then, we have to be a little careful as we get together, at least in spirit. But I just want to thank everybody that's involved in the FIRST Governor's Cup competition. I'd like to particularly thank the governor for helping to make this a really, really big part of New Hampshire. FIRST's home is in New Hampshire, and we're about to embark, I think, on a realistic pathway to make FIRST available to every student and every school in this state, again, in large part because of the leadership of our governor and a lot of other people involved. And with that, good luck to everybody. I hope we all get together soon, and I'll give it back right now to Dave Price to go on with the event.
Welcome back. Thanks a lot for that, Dean. So, Cambria, you went to your very first robot competition, your first event a long time ago. You went to Worlds. That had to have been overwhelming for you.
It was really overwhelming. So my first ever robotics event, I remember I went to the off-season competition Mayhem in Merrimack in 2015, so the Cycle Rush.
Yes.
And I was allowed to be on the drive team, and I remember I knew nothing about robotics, and I was super nervous, and my mentors looked at me and they went, "You have an arm?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got an arm, it's obvious." And they went, "Good, you can throw pool noodles." And so I was so excited because I could throw those pool noodles over across the field, and we had such a great time. So, but going from a small event like that and going from just being local, like I know where Merrimack is, it's close to home.
Sure,
then
sure.
The next year, right around that same time, just coming back from World Championships in St. Louis,
Yeah.
it was insane. It really was a real culture shock, just seeing, because it looks like it's a small kind of community fun sport, but then seeing its the global scale and the global impact it has.
That's true.
Is incredible, especially for a 15-year-old. I was absolutely flabbergasted, but in the best way possible, because knowing that I was part of such an amazing educational program, how many people can say that they compete, they compete competitively with robots?
At World Championships.
At World Championships. It's so great. I would go back to school after World Championships, and we have our cute little participant medals or all the pins that we would collect from all of the pits from all the teams around the world. And I showed them to every one of my classes, and they had no idea what I was talking about. It was always so much fun.
It's too good.
But Dave, let me ask you. So you've been a part of FIRST for now 20 plus years.
Yeah, a long time.
So what has it been like for you watching it grow from then to now?
So I've seen a few things happen. The first one was that when I was a high school teacher, the first robot competition I went to, the first like regional championship, was in Hartford, Connecticut.
Right.
It was in a gymnasium. It was in an auditorium. The MC was Woody Flowers. So Woody Flowers came out. He had his Converse sneakers on, and he started doing this bowing thing all the time, which is why I do it, because that's where I learned it from. But it was a day of standing in auditorium seats where you couldn't move around. So I just danced in place the whole day and screamed, and I lost my voice. But the really interesting part was that when I didn't get to go to Worlds with Team 151 that year, what I ended up doing though, when I became an MC, eventually, very quickly, I was asked to MC at Worlds. Right. So this is the unique takeaway that I want you to think about. We're in New Hampshire, and we have the first intergalactic headquarters in Manchester, New Hampshire. So my mindset was always New Hampshire, New Hampshire, New Hampshire, and that's the entire FIRST universe. Yeah, we have teams from Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maine, Vermont.
New Hampshire's where it's at.
But it's New Hampshire, right? And then I go to Worlds. And so already in New Hampshire, this overwhelming feeling of loving FIRST was inside of me. But when you go to Worlds and there are 100,000 geeks filling a stadium, that's all of a sudden when you realize, and I don't want to call it a religion because I might get in trouble, but all of a sudden you go to World Championships and you see that there are 80,000 other people and they're in costume and they've painted their faces. And there are so many more geeks out there. I think it's the most reassuring thing when you realize that you're just not alone.
Yeah.
You know?
It was absolutely incredible. One of my favorite experiences from World Championships was in 2019. We went to World Championships in Detroit, and while doing robotics in high school, I also did choir, and we learned a song from the Philippines, and it was called Seek Seek, and I remember that we met a team from the Philippines. They didn't speak any English, but they were all dressed up. They were so enthusiastic. They were freshmen. And they didn't speak any English, but then all of a sudden when I realized where they're from, I was like, oh, do you know the song? And they knew the song. We actually just started singing together in the pits.
That's so
and
good.
It was so amazing. Afterwards, we gave each other hugs, and we exchanged pins, phone numbers, and we still communicate to this day. And it was such a wonderful bonding experience to really see how FIRST brings people together globally.
That's incredible. I guess that Dean Kamen could have pictured that way back when. He wants to be on the whole planet, but for me, I didn't see that image of FIRST from 30,000 feet, so to speak. Well, we have a big busy day coming ahead of us,
yes,
and there is something called I want you to highlight. It's called Ask the Organizer, and it's on an app called Whova. WHOVA. Now, on your phone or your computer, whatever electronic device you're using, I'm going to ask you that you go into that app called Whova, WHOVA, and we'll say it a few times, but there is a pass key to get into it for this Governor's Cup. The password to get in is GOVSR. I'll do it in phonetics because I'm a pilot. Gamma, Oscar, Victor, Sierra, Romeo, to those people. Now, we're going to be using other apps today. We're going to be using Zoom, of course, for the team judging. We're going to be using an app called Remo, which is going to be where you're going to go to your lunch tables to talk to other people during our lunch break. This afternoon, we're going to use Kahoot, either Kahoot the app or Kahoot IT the website. So we're going to have a really, really busy day. And of course, Cambria, I'm old, you're young. I have the apps on my phone, which is now I have to delete a couple of Angry Birds apps.
You're on really soon, Taylor, so go ahead and join your video and sign.
We have something upcoming, and
can you hear me, Frank?
Yep.
Great. Should I start sharing content?
Yeah, if that's what you're going to be doing most of the time, go ahead, yeah.
Can you hear me, Frank?
Yep.
Once you register for that event, then it's just all organized for you right there. It's kind of like Navigate, but for robotics competitions.
That's perfect. So our first workshop this morning is going to be an introduction to COVID. This is going to be factual about COVID and not news biased, like some of us are getting. We're going to hear about the biolab and pathways into bioengineering. And this is presented by Taylor McLeod, and he's going to discuss in this first workshop the science of COVID. So we'll see you in a little bit, and we hope you enjoy your first workshop.